I started the last episode of Building with Casey with a single goal in mind. Building with Casey is about one goal, and that's to create a huge and interconnected immersive world with such detailed lore that every aspect of the world tells its own story. From the enchanted grotto and the Ezra tree, all the way to Iris's keep, we are focused on building up this entire city, where in the center, right at the very heart of our city, the market square rests with all the goods that we produce for sale. And that's exactly where I want to start today as I delve into Applied Energistics and get to grips with some of the basics that I should already know. And then I want to continue building up our city, adding in so many more details. So if you think you're going to enjoy that, do me a favor, leave the video a like, hit subscribe, and without any further ado, let's get in to Building with KC. So I am still in love with this tower that we built in the last episode. I think it looks really, really good. And the Enderman farm is working a treat. We've got all the levels that we could want. We got 19 in there, we got 218 in there. And this one just doesn't seem to get any. But hopefully if these two ever do fill up fully, we'll have a third one to fill up. The resources are coming in grand, and I absolutely love that. Now, we tried to hook up two different ME systems to be a part of the same network in the last episode, and it didn't work out. This structure didn't work the way that I thought it would. And that's what's led me into why I want to do this episode today. Because while I absolutely love the fact that our manor house is the central point of our base, or rather the central point of our network, this is where our ME system is, it's not exactly practical. Because I have to keep flying all the way over here whenever I want to craft something new, as we do not have the ME crafting terminal. It's just not compatible with this pack. It always throws up an error code. So I can't use that, which means I have to keep coming back here. So I would kind of like to centralize this some. We've spent a lot of the past couple of episodes focused on the street just outside of the market square, and I want to continue that today. You see, I'm thinking a nice building on this corner right here would be perfect. That way we're near the deep storage and we're incredibly central to the city. But first, we need to tackle logistics. See, I've constructed this thing, and I'm pretty sure this isn't the most efficient method of creating an ME system, but once upon a time I truly did believe, playing Minecraft, that this was the largest ME system you could possibly build. Oh, how I was wrong. You can build an ME system literally 7 by 7 by 7 and it will still work. You can see we've got this over here, we've got this over here. And rather than having two different ME systems linked up, it would just be easier to have one big, giant one that was more central to the city. So this is what I've got to build a house for. Now, as for the building itself, this is, I feel like, a good size. We're going to hide the controller underground. And when I say hide it, I mean we're actually going to be able to see it underground. I like the idea that we walk in and it's a glass floor and you could just see the controller down there, and everything else is around us. I like the fact that we're going to keep it closer to this deep storage. I am toying around with the idea of changing out these oak wood. I think that they are ruining the look that I want to go for here. But that's a future problem. Right now, it's a case of just placing spruce right here. Once I'd done that, it was time to come in with the soul bricks to give these archers on the bottom platform. Then it was time to make a stupid decision, as I thought blue would be a great backing block here. And while walking down the street, the blue really does pop. The blue I chose was actually shiny blocks, which means these blocks are incredibly expensive, more so than if I were to use diamond. Which then made me ask the question of, what if diamond? And I like the diamond better, so, and yeah, I definitely like this much better. The next part were the windows, and for this I was going to use a combination of soul bricks in an arch style pattern, and this would be the design for the 3 sections. For the 2 sections, on the other hand, we would go a block above and create a very similar styled arch, only this time using the 2 bricks in place of the 3. Once we were done with adding in the soul brick arches, it was time to get the wall in place. For this, I was going to be using andesite blocks to complement both this building and the one that we have next door. Next, I wanted to ensure that the street would have lighting, so I added in some soul brick stairs, then throwing in the chains, the lanterns, and the candles. With that completed, I was tackling this building differently to how I normally do. Normally, I construct the building and then I start adding in all the details, but on this instant, I felt like detailing, so I got to detailing. First up on the detail list was my favorite little toy, the window box, or the window planter, this thing right here. Then came the time to punch a hole in the wall that I built and add in some blue stained glass. This alone added so much detail. Lastly was on the two wide ones to add in the red paned glass to create the illusion of a window being here. You know, the illusion that is really a window, and I totally didn't forget to record this clip beforehand. Once I'd done that, I came in with some spruce covers just on the joints here to give them a little bit of depth. And finally, to finish off the lower floor, I was going to add a trim of soul bricks here so that we could do something similar to what we've done along the way by adding in a colored block behind here. And of course, for the background block, I couldn't go cheap. I liked the purple of the draconian blocks, so I am using these, what very few of them I actually have, which gave this really cool pop here that I was going to break up with fences, but I don't think it's gonna look all that good. I like it like this. This is strong. So far, this place is looking pretty good. I am fairly happy with it. There was a section over here where I had to use fences because I couldn't break this without breaking this block here, and that would merge the two windows together. So I thought, okay, I'll put some fence gates here and make it look like these windows were actually boarded up at some point. I really like doing this with blocks. I think it looks so cool. And I don't want to break that up. I really, really don't. So I'm just trying to kind of figure out the roof shape here. And I'm thinking we do something like this along the way. I did have a different idea, but I measured from here all the way to here. And this is 27, which means I could have segments of 5 blocks apiece. But I didn't realize that I was adding 2 more blocks on, which makes 29. And I can't find something that 29 divides evenly by. I'm pretty sure it's a prime number. That being said, I do kind of like this feel. And I'm thinking we could back it with a bit of white marble. I like the marble, and that looks pretty good. Which I'm thinking if we add some black marble stairs upside down and fill in the gaps with spruce wood like this, then it looks really, really nice. Although I've just had another idea. What if we were to add in a green block? We've got blue, we've got light blue, we've got red, we've got purple, we've got all different colors in here. And I'm trying to showcase the colors that go through the ME system, and this looks good. I was going to use emerald blocks, but I don't have a lot of emeralds, and emerald is our currency on the server. So, you know, I've only got 81 blocks. I need to get some of this processing down. That ME system isn't hooked up to this one, and this one is our mine, so maybe I have more than I have a lot more than I think I had. We can use this in the roof. I've got an idea. But first things first, I need to finish this part of the roof. You see, I'm thinking something like this for being where the roof starts. I've got a plan for up there, although that might be a later project. I'm not sure yet. But we've got the roof like this, and then all I'm going to do is I'm going to start coming up and going over. I don't know exactly how this is going to go. I'm going to try and figure it out. I want not a very steep arch, although a steep arch might be the beneficial idea. I'm going to try a couple and see what I like. After trying a couple of things, I really like this design. It fits the roof perfectly for what I want. So I guess it's time to get it completed. Looking from a distance, you can see how the roof is going to shape out up there. It looks really good. I'm fairly happy with this building. It definitely fits with the theme of the village, or the city, should I say. I am happy. I just need to find out what block I'm going to fill it with. So I like the idea of using these infernal blocks. Not only do they fit the aesthetics of the city and the build, they work brilliantly. Now for now, this roof is going to just be flat. We're going to come in later on and we're going to add stuff to it to make it a little bit more unique. So while I'm not entirely certain what I want to add to sort of bring more detail to the roof, I do know that I want to crack on with getting the ME system sorted, as that's going to be a lot of research on my part and going to take me quite some time to do. Now the final step of this roof is to come in up here with the emerald block and just fill in these gaps. And that gives us a really colorful building that looks like it belongs in the city and feels really elegant. if we just ignore the grass interior. I'm setting to work on the inside, and I've got the controller in place. I've tried this design. I think this gives us significantly more channels. I'm just hoping this thing actually powers on and doesn't display the red symbol, although it seems we're only getting part of it powered. What's going on there? A little bit of jiggery pokery, and I've got it sorted out. For some reason, if I put a block here, it just doesn't connect properly. It's like it doesn't see itself as part of the system, but down here I can do that and we've got no problems. I don't get it. It confuses me. But anyway, this is now the new heart of our system. It looks pretty cool. Now I just need to start getting it all hooked up. Step 1 of our ME system has been completed. We have the terminals all hooked up. We've got a bunch of the storage terminals. We've got the gas terminal. We've got the fluid terminal. We've got the interface terminal. We've got the crafting terminal. And we got the pattern terminal. We got all the terminals we'll ever need running off of just one dense cable. I do want to get into peer-to-peer tunnels, but I wanted our main sort of interface to be running off of just one cable that I fully understand, so that if it breaks, I can easily fix it. We'll hook up like the deep storage to the peer-to-peer tunnels. At least I'm going to give it a go. Anyway, we'll see how that works. I'm not entirely certain, but first things first, we need to do some more things in here. It's been achieved. We've got this going on right here. These are inscribers, and I've set this up in a way that I can put an item in here and tell it to start emitting a signal once it reaches a certain amount. The idea is these can then craft up automatically all of the processors that we will need for additional storage, and we won't have to do anything, and then once it reaches a certain number it will automatically shut off, thus not wasting all of our resources. So I did a thing! I've started to get moved in a little bit more. I've shown you these already, but I have connected them using P2P tunnels. Look, I'm getting used to these now. There's probably going to be some mistakes. I'm probably not doing this right. I'm probably making an obvious mistake, and I'm sure the comments will let me know, and I will greatly appreciate that. Any advice is welcomed advice at this point. But these ones, we got one here, one here, one here. This is what I think I'm doing wrong. I don't think I need to have 3 here. This is all running off the same line. So we got power coming out of here and into here. I wish there was a way to power both of these from just one rather than having to use 2 sides for each P2P tunnel. There might very well be. Perhaps the quartz fiber cable is an option. We'll look at that in the future. For right now, I'm not too worried about it. I'm just getting to grips. But we've got the P2P tunnel. This one is linked to that one, and that one. It's carrying the channels across it. So if we press 1, we can see this is carrying 3 channels. I'm splitting that channel. 1 is going up to here and coming out here, which is then 32 channels, and it's connected all of this. I know it only says 7 out of 8 channels and 5 out of 8, but I've put drives in all of them to confirm, and they all do connect. So I think it might just be saying that because there's nothing in them, but I could obviously be wrong. And then we've got smart cable carrying on, same P2P tunnel there, and same one to here. So these 3 P2P tunnels are all linked up to this bit right here, allowing me to carry those channels, and it all does seem to work, although I haven't put in I am putting all the drives, but I have tested it with a few drives and it does seem to work. So I'm going to go and try that with a bunch more drives and see if I've made a huge mistake. Well, I've moved in all of the drives from the old base and they do seem to be registering, which is good. This still complexes me. I've had to do some jiggery pokery because for some reason it wasn't connecting, but I think it is now. I think it was treating it as 2 individual systems, or maybe multiple. I don't know. I'm still learning a lot about Applied Energistics, and this is what this episode's about. It's about getting better with Applied Energistics, and I think I have turned a point. Now, my next goal is to hook this ME system up to the new mining factory there. Just when I thought I was starting to understand it, I didn't do it right, did I? No, completely wrong. It didn't work. Not all of the drives were registered, even though the lights were on. I didn't have all my items. I noticed when I went for my P2P tunnels and they just were not here, and I only had like 2 storage buses, and I'm like, I know I crafted a bunch of those, so not all of my items were showing up. I think I need like an ME controller. I think you need to sort of put like them all on this face here and then an ME controller to move them over. But I've thought about it long and hard when it comes to the base system here. I don't want to use P2P tunnels in this particular building. I think I want to have everything hardwired connected so that I am comfortable knowing that everything in this building is working perfectly because I understand it. But then I think we're going to get into P2P tunnels. When I hook up the deep storage, it just makes a lot more sense to carry those over a lot less space and a lot less cable. So maybe that's a future project. Well, later today project maybe. I don't know. I need to get this hooked back up. And like that, all of my items are now being registered and I feel a lot more comfortable. Now I want to get these things operational, which I also kind of realize that I can't get them operational just yet because this system doesn't have all of my ingots because they were in the old ingot factory and I need to hook this thing up first. Now with those hooked up, we have all the resources to get to automating these inscribers. So I've set up the first 2 presses and I'll show you guys exactly what I'm doing so you understand it all. We've got silicon automatically being outputted and into here, but you can see it's not actually ending up in here. That's because of this little emitter up here is turning off the redstone signal if there is more than 10,000 printed silicon in the system. So if we look at printed silicon, we can actually see that there is more than 10,000. But if we take this out, it's still more than 10,000. But now the levels have dropped below 10,000. You can see that they're going back up once again because these 2 machines have kicked on. And I want to do this with all of the kind of circuits that we've got. These ones going on here. And just like that, we've got all of these now producing all of the different processes. The lights will turn off when we have more than enough of those in the system. There is only one small issue, and that's these ones at the end right here. You see, these require these pure citrus quartz crystals, which I do not have access to in a large quantity, so we need to find some way to start producing those. But first, I want to finish this room off, which first means I must stand at the oven portal and make my shimmering rock. I threw 9 stacks of mana glass into this portal. I hope they don't despawn. Nope, I got every single one back. That took a while. I thought I'd continue the theme that we've been going for in here by using this botanical stuff, so this is what I've come up with right here. We've got room on top right there for more AE machines. I don't know if I want to do some not some auto crafters. They take up a lot more space and I need research on those. So forget the auto crafters, but there may be something else from AE that I want to do things with up here. And I've decided I want to use this room over here for a lot of automation in terms of like Ender IO and things that I want to automate the production of. And I'm thinking there are some things that I really do want to make sure that I've always got access to. But oh yeah, this is still expensive because we've got the enchanted mana glass everywhere in here. I like this. I love the shimmering stuff. It looks so cool. I'm not sure about these windows. I might just take those out and leave nothing in there. But for right now, I need to get this done. So more work has been done, folks. I've got alloy smelters over here smelting me up all the alloys that I think I will need. At least for now anyway. There's still some empty, so I can always add any if I've forgotten some. But the main ones I wanted to have producing was pulsating iron, vibrant alloy, energetic alloy, and for this one it's actually just producing me conduit binder. This is because I am tired of running out of item conduits and I'm sick and tired of running out of energy conduits. So this one is now doing the binder composite. This one is crafting me up item conduits. This one is doing the ender energy conduit. So I will always have access to those no matter what now. Well, you know, providing these resources all do like they're supposed to. And I've decided exactly how I'm going to fill in the spaces over here. I'm going to use compacting drawers or just storage drawers in general for things that I want to store in mass quantities that aren't being stored elsewhere. For now, we've got stuff like the pulsating iron, the vibrant alloy and whatnot. And just to clarify, these aren't going to produce an infinite number of these. They are capped. I think we've got these capped at 10,000, but the conduits themselves, I believe, are capped at like 2,000. So we should have about 2,000 of those. Yes, look. So we've got plenty of those capped. Just enough to get us by. I don't think we'll ever use more than 2,000 in a single go. And with all the shimmering rock in place down here, this place feels so much better. I am not going to put any glass in this particular part right here so that I could just simply drop off the end, drop down to the ME system when I need to, and then come back up here like so. But there is one more thing that I want to do, and that is to get a quantum link chamber up and running. So if we put this here, that should do that just fantastically. And with one setup on one side and the other setup on the other side, I'm going to put this in and I'm going to hope this works the way that I intended it to work, which means the semi-controller should be connected to this system maybe. Or does it have to be to the underneath of the system? It might actually have to be to the underneath of the system. I'm going to try this first of all with just dense cable first. Just see if we can just connect it straight with dense cable. And hopefully that should allow me to use... I don't want to use these storage things here, but I am hoping to be able to use this crafting terminal. So after a little bit of Googling and YouTubing, I think I've got it working. If we go here, you can see that we've got access to everything. We should see all of our wheat in here, although we kind of don't see our wheat in here, which is worrisome. Why it isn't connecting to the system over here. It seems this cable does not want to work. I'm not entirely certain why. Like, at the core, we're only using 8 channels, but now I think about it, that might be the problem. Yep, I think this is the problem. If we head over here, we've got this smart cable going into it. So essentially, we are only transferring 8 channels, if my understanding is correct. So if I switch these out with a dense cable, I completely crash the system. And if we look now, it's all working. I didn't really crash the system. It's just when you do something to the system, it sometimes takes a while to update. It's like one of them old computers that you would have to turn on in the morning. It takes a few minutes, but it is all registered everything perfectly. I'm so glad this works. We can neaten this up in the future, but for right now, I am chuffed to bits. I'm also going to take this opportunity to literally stick a wireless access terminal here and stick in a bunch of cards. Then I should be able to use my system, no problem over here, because there's like a boundary. I lose connectivity somewhere around here. Not exactly certain where in this bit, but you know, 1 minute it works here, then the next minute it doesn't work here. It just picks a random block around here and decides, you know what, I don't want to work. You know, sometimes you just got to know when to throw in the towel. I've been working over here at the deep storage unit, trying to connect this up to our main unit, and I did get it connected for a little while. There was a way that I was doing it. I was running the conduits underground, not above ground, but there was a way that I could do it where I could see all of the items that was in here on both this terminal and the terminal back in my base, and I could draw items from both, and that was working. That was exactly what I wanted it to do, to be able to connect the two systems. However, there was a major problem. Anytime I was putting anything into the ME system, like this, it would just disappear. It wouldn't show up. And I had a bunch of smart cables. I made up smart cables of every single color. And I don't have smart cables of every single color. I made up over a stack of each color. I think I made 2 stacks of each color. And I don't have them. I haven't even used a stack here. And I put them all into the ME system along with the different colored dense cable that I made. And as you can see, the only dense cable that I have is regular red and purple, which I already had from before. But the new ones I made up and I put into the ME system just disappeared. So I have no idea where my items were going or what was happening to them. So I decided to disconnect the two systems, and I don't hate this idea. Because I did want this system to be independent in the terms that this terminal would only display what was being stored in this unit, whereas the other terminal would then be able to display this item. But I also wanted it to try to put the items here first, but not until after it had done through the ingot factory, etc, etc. And I figured there might be an issue there. So I like this idea that this is independent, and I like these colors. Look, they just look really, really nice when you pair them like this with a smart cable and not using anchors, because different colored cables don't connect. I have had to use anchors up here to prevent these from connecting, and while I could use a different colored dense cable to do this, say the red dense cable, for example, only connects to the red smart cable here. So these were not connecting, and obviously I need to run 32 channels along one of these. So I like this design. It looks really, really good. We can repeat this over here. And it does mean that I only use sort of 4 sides. So we can sort of come up here. Or maybe we come up here. Something. We can figure it out for the next set of deep storage. But I'm not going to implement all of the deep storage just yet. A lot of these are empty. And they're ready for items to be put into once the system overflows. We've got the chests up here and all of those are going in, so I'm fairly happy with this. The streets of our city are starting to feel more alive. As we make our way out the market square past Enderman Tower, the ingot factory is what we see. Beyond that, we have the deep storage unit for all of our additional resources, leading towards our new addition. Using draconian blocks, emerald and peridot, we were able to create a building to house our ME system, where inside we have our main controller, all of our screens, our storage, and full automation for all of the ingots that we may want. So that's going to do it for this episode, guys. If you've enjoyed the video, please do consider leaving a like and hit subscribe. You can also become a channel member. Join the channel, help support future content, and when you join, you do get a house built for you in one of my series. It's all detailed in the tier that you choose. But that's going to do it. Like, subscribe. I'm Casey. You're the awesome folks.
On in my head like I've seen it. A life worth living is a life with meaning. I'll do what I love till my heart stops beating. I'm feeding this demon. Got a taste, can't erase bitterness in my face. Work a job every day till your dreams fade away. Like a card, never change. Play the game that we say. I need a break.